Hello, my name is Lorena Davies, and I'm going to be showing you how I used Poplet today in order to study our topic, which is behaviorism. I'll go ahead and zoom in so that you can see where I started at. It's a great concept because I always tend to spill over the pages when I make notes, and this helped me a lot, and it helped for my OCD. So we'll start with behaviorism. One part of it is classical conditioning. I put our red terms, terms that we should know, in the red boxes. So that way it kind of prompts my brain to be like, okay, remember this one, it's important. The first one we have is reflexive automatic responses, which is not voluntary behavior. The green is where I have put my take on it, what it means. This behavior that we do not think about consciously, it just happens. For reflexive automatic responses. And then I'll put the example over here in orange. These could be things such as salivating, blinking, nausea, pupil dilation, etc. Then also under classical conditioning I have below the level of conscious awareness. That's behavior you don't realize that you're even doing, like chattering your teeth when you are cold. Now we get into the fun stuff. And this is where Poplet really helped me organize my thoughts and ideas and also check my work to make sure what I was putting was the correct example and definition and everything. So the unconditional response, in parentheses UR, short for, is something that a human or animal responds to with no conscious control of their own. For example, your eyes watering, salivating, knee reflex, and then I made a note over here in pink to ask if the knee reflex is considered a reflexive motor response. I believe it is. And then also to confirm if UR is behaving well when my dog knows I have the treat bag. So I need to confirm that. So food involved means my dog is on his best behavior. That's kind of the response that I want from him. Okay, so next we have unconditional stimulus, UCS. It's something that the human or animal has a natural response to. In this case, my dog responds to treats. The neutral stimulus is something that a human or animal does not have any type of initial response to. So, for example, in Pavlov's dog's description, the bell serves as the neutral stimulus. So my example is before learning dog clicker for my dog, because before he learned the clicker, here I'll show it to you, before he learned this, he didn't know what that meant. Alright, so next is conditional stimulus. A conditional stimulus is when the neutral stimulus, the dog clicker, becomes associated with the unconditional stimulus, the dog treats. And an example of that is after he learned the dog clicker. And then I also put these over here as well, because when I'm studying, I want to be able to come back to my examples and remember them quickly. So the NS stands for the neutral stimulus, and that is the dog clicker. That I spelled incorrectly, but there we go. This is a very helpful thing, by the way, except the only thing I didn't like is that you have to press the save button a lot. It's not like Google Apps. But that was my only complaint. It was a great tool. So we'll continue on. So the conditional response is when a neutral stimulus is used with an unconditional stimulus. So I'll kind of say it again. A conditional response, which is the good behavior that I want my dog to present, is when a neutral stimulus, the clicker, is used with an unconditional stimulus, which are the dog treats. Other examples include Pavlov's dog salivating and the driving dog video. And over here I have my examples again. So I'm going to see, actually, if my dog remembers all of this. So I'll leave this on the screen. Let me see. Let's see what he does. Okay, look. Come here. Come here, Lucky Marie. Okay, come here. Good boy, you remember that clicker. Wait, and I'm going to get you a treat. You remember it. You're such a smart boy and you make great choices. And don't bark. barking at? Great. All right. Here's one for the road. Okay. All right. So, sorry, I hope you guys could see that. But so it does look like my dog remembers the clicker, so that's a great example of Pavlov's experiment. So we're going to go back over here. Operant conditioning is also part of behaviorism. We're going to talk about how it started first. So I have over here under operant conditioning, positive and negative punishment, Edward L. Thorndike, B.F. Skinner, and Skinner boxes. Sorry, I didn't mean to mention this one until a little bit later. We're going to focus on Edward and B.F. Skinner. So Edward L. Thorndike first described the operant conditioning that we now know through B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner made operant conditioning popular. Psychology students, human development students learn it in school. I also wanted to show you Poplet is able to do this kind of like a drawing thing down here if you click on here. So you're able to kind of draw in that box. So I tested it out by drawing an arrow to operant conditioning, since B.F. Skinner is also tied to operant conditioning. And then down here, Skinner had what's called Skinner boxes. Doesn't sound like fun. It's chambers that B.F. Skinner used to dispense food rewards to pigeons that were used in his experiments. Okay. So now we're going to go back to operant conditioning, and we're going to learn about positive and negative reinforcement and positive and negative punishment. It all kind of sounds the same once you look at it, and then you kind of got to dig in to really learn and remember what it is. So we're going to start with positive and negative punishment. Positive punishment is when you want to limit the behavior. So, for example, Lucky, my dog, doesn't like it when I go grab Q-tips. He thinks I'm going to clean his EARS's. I actually have to, he's laying down here, I have to spell in front of him, or else he knows what I'm saying. So if I tell my dog to stop barking or doing unwanted behavior, I tell him I'm going to go get a Q-tip, and I go and grab it. He doesn't know the word Q-tip, but he knows that it's under the sink. So if I even head in that direction, he will, dash under the table. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I wrote, so then he hides, and he kind of stops doing the bad behavior if I threaten him if he's barking. He's not supposed to bark at his neighbors. So, another part of positive and negative punishment is aversive. Aversive is a stimulus a human or animal does not want. Lucky does not want his EARS's cleaned. So when he sees that Q-tip, it's like, I don't want that to happen. We also have negative punishment because we want to eliminate the behavior when we use this type of operant conditioning. It's when my dog is getting his ears cleaned if he keeps barking or doing a behavior I don't want him to do. All right. Now we're going to go to positive and negative reinforcement. So for positive reinforcement, I have using a stimulus to reinforce and increase a behavior. So using TREATS's while cleaning Lucky's EARS's. Sorry for all the spelling, but he literally will react if he hears it. Then we also have negative reinforcement. That's not giving the stimulus when the human or animal does not exhibit the desired behavior. I haven't done this because personally I love spoiling my dog, but I try not to spoil him too much, but it's tough. He's so cute. So that would not be giving him TREATS's if he hides from me and doesn't let me clean his EARS's. I've never really done that so much, but yeah. So the next part of the positive and negative reinforcement is appetitive. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's when a stimulus, it is a stimulus a human or animal does want. So he always wants a yummy TREAT. Now we're going to go over here under operant conditioning to the schedules. First one is the fixed ratio schedule. It's when a stimulus is provided to the human or animal every X amount of times. Here, I'll zoom in. And that's it. For an example, if I gave my dog a TREAT every time he pressed a lever, he would be pressing that all day long. So next we have the variable ratio schedule. And it's a general schedule of how many stimuli is provided to the human or animal, but there's no rhyme or reason as to when it will be provided. The perfect example of that doesn't really have to do with my dog. The best way to remember it is gambling, and it's actually the most effective schedule that they have. And I was kind of shocked to learn that that's why it could be so addictive. Personally, I don't like gambling. I get sad if I lose 20 bucks, but some people really love it. So we've also got the variable interval schedule, and that is usually happens weekly, but can occur more or less often. The best example is a pop quiz. You always want to make sure you know your stuff, because you never know when you're going to have a pop quiz. Let's see if there's anything that I missed. I wanted to talk about the pros that I liked about Poplet. It was easy to use, environmentally friendly, because if I had used paper for this, I would have had to literally have like a huge poster because it went so wide. I'll zoom out again so you can see. But yeah, this would not have worked on a poster. I actually really liked the visual because it just spreads out kind of like a tree, or however you think in your mind how it works best. When I'm retrieving this information, say, for example, for a pop quiz, I'm going to kind of remember the things outside and the examples and the abbreviations that I made. So it was definitely very helpful. The only comment that I have for improvements is I wish they had the save button. That happened automatically, but other than that, I love Poplet, and I can't wait to be using it as a teacher. All right, thank you.